Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Amy Edwards. I'm a Gold consultant, and today we're going to go over some ins and outs of booking vacation homes and cabins. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to get started by going to the Rising Tide 3 website. So this is going to be kind of your first stop to see some good places to book those vacation homes. So under the Rising Tide 3 website, you're going to go to the travel tab and you're going to go to houses, condos, and cabins. Go ahead and sign in. So here are a lot of areas or a lot of suppliers that you're going to be able to book through. Now, some of these are going to be in the travel cafe where you register with the suppliers and vendors. And some of them, you are going to click on these links and you're going to register with them. When you register with any vendor or supplier, and this is really important, you're always going to still use Archer's information. So don't ever give them your information or send them any kind of W-9 because you don't want to go outside of Archer. You want to be able to use their IATA number and get those commissions. So that's why you see the note up here. It says call to see if they work with travel agents. Several of them do work with travel agents, vacation rentals, resorts, and cabins. So if they aren't on here, many of them do still work with travel agents. And usually when you give that IATA number to any of these places, they'll either say, yes, we understand what that is and we can send your commission, or they'll say, no, we don't, but maybe they could give you a better rate and you could charge your own commission outside of the booking. I don't always encourage that, but if that needs to be done, if you're still new and don't understand that, just always reach out to your mentor and they can kind of hold your hand and walk you through that. So here is the whole list of some really good ones and some top ones that we use, and there are a ton here. Usually you can find them throughout here. Now I am going to go ahead and sign into the travel cafe because one really important one for houses and condos is going to be My Profit Agility. So there's a whole separate training for My Profit Agility, but I like to show everybody kind of where to find it. And as soon as you get set up with them, I think 2 or 3 times a week, Archer does a training, or 2 or 3 times a month, and Profit Agility itself has a lot of trainings. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my back office. I'm going to go to the travel cafe. All right, and from the travel cafe, if you scroll down here and you go to resort weeks and condos through My Profit Agility, these are where you find a lot of those last minute unused timeshares, any last minute openings at many resorts. So these are for all of the world, and they're typically a 7-day date. So typically it's from Saturday to Saturday that you have to book these for. So it'll tell you to go to this link. It used to be called Advantage Direct. It's going to have you go to this link and you're going to use the access code of Travel 2019. After you get access, you're going to create your own login. So as you can see here, if I use Travel 19 and hit next, it's going to ask me to create my own login. I already have one. And so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that and sign in. So this is especially where I like to go when I have somebody that wants to travel last minute, because these are where the best deals are. So as you can see here, you can book within 60 days of travel, or you can book up to 12 months in advance. There are also some hotel options that you can use or look at pricing for comparing. All of their trainings that they have are going to be right here. You can watch any of their trainings and read about their policies. And once you get signed up, of course, they send you a lot of training. Any promotional inventory is always going to be flashing on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and click on the within 60 days of travel. Just to give you a quick example, you can filter by destination. So it has a whole bunch of areas I'm probably going to go through Florida for a lot of these just because that's kind of a popular place, especially for like spring break time and where I do a lot of my travel. So just for these examples, I'm probably going to use the Orlando area. So I'm going to click on apply filter. Of course, there are no, I take that back. There's one all-inclusive resort in Florida. But if I were looking at like Mexico or somewhere like that, I could do all-inclusive only, or I just leave that check to show the all-inclusive. Now you can sort by many different ways: price, ratings, dates, locations, anything like that. And you can also look by occupancy. So if you need something for 12 to 15, you can filter that way. I'm just going to go ahead and use the one that kind of pops up here. So just as an example, you have January 1st till January 8th, a 2-bedroom that sleeps 8. Now, normally for those dates, it's going to be $2,097. But because it's such a special and it's so close to the travel, you can actually get this for $613.25. So your commission, you can earn up to $600 in commission for that property. Now, if I click open to open what the property is like, it's the Marriott Harbors Lake. Now, when you want to share the property profile, I want you to make sure you take the training for profit agility, because they don't like you to broadcast the name of the location in your quotes and not until the booking is completed, just because these are last minute and they're kept a little confidential. So here's where they can tell you, what you can put in your quote to the client. So they're going to give you all the information about the resort, and then you're going to be able to book it. And then in here, you can adjust your commission amount. And these are non-refundable. Well, most of them are non-refundable. So it'll select the cancellation policy to view for this reservation. Most of them, I mean, all of them you have to pay up front, and most of them are non-refundable rates. Any questions kind of about using profit agility? So that's a way you can find something pretty quickly if it's available in a popular area. Now, you're not always going to find something in here. So if I were to go to the booking within 12 months, then I wouldn't be able to, or I would have a lot more options in the Orlando area. But since I'm just within the next 60 days, my options are going to be limited. And so that's one small downfall. If they only have one available and your client takes a day or two to decide, you could get back on here and it could be gone. Some of them, they do let you hold. Typically within 60 days, they don't. But the training for that is going to be on the home screen, and it's going to tell you how to know if they're going to let you hold that for 3 days. All right. So the next one that I like to go over, I'm just going to kind of go down the list a little bit here because these are the top ones. So Vacasa. Vacasa is one that you're going to register for separately. So they have their own travel agent site. Now within their travel agent site for Vacasa, there are a group of homes that you can book. Now, I have found that on the travel agent site, there aren't as many as on regular Vacasa. However, they do still pay you commission. You just have to let them know after the booking that you booked and that you're a travel agent and what your information is. You can always, and I always say, I prefer that you call Vacasa and just verify that. Say, hey, I didn't have this home listed on my travel agent site, but I did find it on your standard website. Can I submit this for commission? And so they'll definitely tell you how to do that. So with Vacasa, typically the commission, I believe, is 8%. So again, we're going to go into here. We're just going to type in Orlando. We will do beginning of spring break. 7th through the 13th. Odd date for a Monday. Maybe I shouldn't do a Monday. Maybe we'll do the 4th through the 11th of March. So here's where you can see most of the options that they have available. And some of these again are in the travel agent site and some of them are not. So when it's not in the travel agent site, Vacasa will allow you to add the email address of your client so that they can send in all the documents. I typically, once again, I don't do that. I like to be able to handle everything for my client. And so I let Vacasa know, look, I booked this, I'm the travel agent, can everything go through me? And that's usually okay. But what I want to point out, and I'll show you this when I show you the Airbnb and VRBOs. So you see here how we have a label for all of the homes. So this one is Be Our Guest, this one is Regal's Townhome, My Disney Villa, Augusta. So these are key because most of these homes are listed on multiple sites. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware. So we can't use VRBO or Airbnb directly. Those sites are set up to where the person logged in, completes the booking and is responsible for like any damages and the contracts. So they're not set up for travel agents, and I never recommend a travel agent unless that's changed very recently, which I don't believe it has. I never recommend a travel agent do a booking through either one of those sites for one of their clients. Now, what you can do though, I'm going to try to go over to like VRBO and find one that's close to the same. Because I know VRBO and Airbnb, they are a popular site. So a lot of times when your clients come to you, they say, hey, I seen this on VRBO, can you get this for me? And immediately in our head, we think, oh, I can't get that from VRBO. So I'm going to kind of show you a little trick to be able to finding it. All right, I may need to narrow this down just a little bit. Sometimes I can find it really quickly right off the bat. I probably should have looked at this before the training started. I apologize for that. All right, well, we're just going to use we'll use an example out of the VRBO in just a second. I wanted to kind of finish up the Vacasa. Do you have any questions about the Vacasa vacation rentals? So how you find how to sign up for a travel agent, because I don't believe that one is in the Travel Cafe. So you can do this with many different hotels or booking places, odd suppliers or vendors that aren't in the Travel Cafe. So if I do Vacasa for travel agents, I can find the travel agent website. And then I can just sign up using Archer's IATA number. So Jaleesa, if you use VRBO, do we have to go through Classic Vacations for the commissions? So Classic Vacations, and I'm going to go over that in just a moment, does have the VRBO inventory. So Classic Vacations, you kind of think of it as they are the travel agent site for VRBO. They don't have the entire inventory, but they do have quite a bit of the inventory. So this is how you find anything for Vacasa, like this, the Vacasa travel agent portal. So you can go to there and you can sign up. Do you have any questions on Vacasa itself? I kind of just want to show everybody where to find it in the Rising Tide site. Here's all your different options, especially if you're going to do cabin rentals. If nobody has any questions about Vacasa, then I'm going to move over to VRBO. All right, so in VRBO, we know that we can't book directly through them. So let's say we find something we like. And it doesn't work for everything, but it typically works pretty well. I'm going to filter it down a little bit. We're going to have a pool and definitely a house. See if that works better. All right, I'm gonna pick this one. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna pick that one because it doesn't have a really good name to it. We'll try this one. Jaleesa asked, you're talking about vacation homes. When I want to use other sites as a travel agent, we just use Archer's IATN number. I think you said yes. Yeah, you can. So let me give you an example. Like if you're on Expedia trying to book a hotel and maybe the hotel is sold out on Expedia or Expedia Tap. Sorry, I should say Expedia Tap, and you can't find it on another one like on Beds Online. So you could, let's say it was a Holiday Inn. You could actually go right to the Holiday Inn website and use the IATN number to do a booking. Now you have to be really careful, especially if you call the hotel, which is typically what I like to confirm with calling. When you call them, you could say, hi, I'm a travel agent. I need to do a booking for a client. Do you pay commission if I give you my IATA number, IATN number? So typically they say, yeah, that's fine. We can do the booking right over the phone, or you could do it online. And we'll put your IATN number in there and we'll send those commissions to Archer Travel. What you want to be careful of is that you don't book at a travel agent rate, because then when your client goes to log in or to check in, they're going to say, hey, where's your travel agent identification? Because now at a travel agent rate, it's not just a standard client rate. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. All right, so in VRBO, I'm going to show you a couple of different things. First of all, we have that home title. Second of all, if you scroll down here, it's going to tell you who your host is. So this one is hosted by a person, hosted by Angela Comas. Oh, I might really Carrasco. I believe that's how you say her name. So you have a couple of different options. Sometimes these say hosted by Vicasa or hosted by a property management company. And a lot of times you can go to that property management company's website and be able to book through them and get commission. So you can kind of go, you can find what you want in VRBO and you can kind of go around it. Another thing I've done with VRBO is I have contacted Angela and I have said, hi, I'm a travel agent. I know that VRBO doesn't really work for travel agents. I know that their system isn't set up for that. Do you use another company that you book through? Or do you do, special rates? So sometimes they'll come back and they'll say, yeah, I can get your client in there. This one's $172 a night. I can get them in there for $130 a night. And so I usually say, okay, great. I'm going to have them log into VRBO. I'm going to have them contact you so that you can give them that rate. Because the way VRBO works is Angela has to reduce her rate for whoever is logged into that VRBO. So she's going to send them a deal directly. And so before I tell my client that, though, I'm going to say, okay, I got you a really good rate. I can get it for you at this rate, but what you're going to do is you're going to log into VRBO, you're going to pay that rate. And then also with your card, I'm going to charge that wholesale booking fee, which you'll learn about that on the daily commissions. And I'm going to use their card through my PayPal or my Square account to put on the commission that we agree upon. So I could add in another $20 a night, or I could just say, look, I saved you $300 on the VRBO rental directly, but I have a $125 wholesale booking fee. So I've essentially saved them $175 still, and usually that's just fine. If you want to learn more about doing that, watch for the daily commission trainings because that really shows in detail very well how to be able to get those daily commissions and charge them directly through your Square or PayPal or whatever you choose to use. So there's one way. Another way that you can, well, there's two ways actually. And then another way that you can do it is you can actually just copy the name of this place. And usually you can Google it. And let's see if we get lucky here. So I have it on Airbnb. I can see it. It's probably the same home. I have it on buyowner.com, which I've never used. Again, Airbnb, rent by owner. We have it on TripAdvisor, which probably it's on Expedia. We have it on VRBO. Oh, that one kind of went out. So you got to watch for the names to change here. But usually, and if it's the option, actually Classic Vacations will come up here. If it's managed by Vacasa, Vacasa will come into your search results. So a lot of times you can do that. Jaleesa, you asked, okay, so because you did it that way, we wouldn't fill out the tracking form since it's considered a daily commission. Correct. So if you do your commission through the client directly, you don't fill out a tracking form. You want to also be sure to say, and again, this is your business, so it's completely up to you. Those rules are up to you. If you do it that way and they, let's say, purchase travel insurance and can't go, you want to make sure that you tell them that it's either non-refundable or it's fully refundable, or that wholesale booking fee is maybe 50% refundable. So you want to have a disclaimer on there in case for whatever reason they have to cancel. They know right up front that that daily commission is either refundable or not refundable. So keep that in the back of your mind when you're doing the daily commissions. Typically, if it's really low amounts like the 25 or 50, it's probably best to do them as non-refundable. But if you're doing like a whole commission, you may want to think about that a little bit, and depends on which client that you are working with. All right, so we didn't get too lucky, but we did see it in a couple of other areas. So if it were to show up on Classic Vacations, that would be great, because then you could do the Classic Vacations and book through there. I could look for a couple of others, but I think everyone kind of gets the pictures. Everyone understand what I'm doing here? I'm just looking for it on a different platform that I can book through so that I could get the commission outside of the VRBO. And I do that for a couple of reasons. Daily commissions are amazing, but I also want to earn that IATN card. And so I want to make sure my commissions go through Archer so that I can work my way up to that IATN card. In addition to that, if this client has a problem with that VRBO booking, I also can't log in to see it. So even though that property owner probably would work with me, what if they set up payments and don't make their last payment? You're not going to know that because you can't see it on your side. And so that's why I tend to not do that if I don't have to. We can search for a couple of others of these so I could give you a good example. But does anybody have any questions about how to book through VRBO without booking through VRBO? Oh, this one's a good one. So this is through Expedia. So you could find it in Expedia tab. Typically, I don't like to, again, book through Expedia chat because it is 50% commissions, but that's better than having to do or not booking the home at all. Because some people, when they see a home, they're just stuck on it. And so you can usually give them a different home, or you can, show them a better home to book with. But I like to give people what they want, kind of what their heart is set on. Jennifer, do you just register through Vacasa website or with the supplier form? So that's going to be through the Vacasa site. So the supplier form is only for the ones that are listed. So the VAX, OneSource, what else is on there? Norwegian and MSC. Those are just for those. So if you type in, and this could be for Holiday Inn, this could be for the Hilton hotels. You just type in whatever the vendor is and then for travel agents. One thing you want to remember though is if it doesn't ask you for the IATA number, you may not be in a travel agent site. So I know that Vacasa, I know personally that they do ask for the Archer's information and their IATA number. I also suggest before you do that, you can go in, oh, log me out. You can go into the Travel Cafe and you can see if they have it listed in here, but not everything is listed in here. Some of them you do, or you can do on your own, especially if you're going to go through a hotel directly. Let's see what they have. Yeah, they don't have Vacasa in here yet. And I think that typically means they don't have special terms. The only thing different I had to do with Vacasa is after the booking was done, I just sent them a quick commission invoice. And Archer actually has one in the form section even that you can send to where they just send that commission to Archer Travel. So I just plugged it into a Word document. I think I've seen one in here even. Yeah, Archer Travel invoice. Once you download it, you can use this to send. I have to share my screen differently. So this is kind of what it looks like. Can everybody see that invoice? And then what I did is I just filled in Vacasa's information into here. And that way everything went to Archer. I wasn't sidestepping any rules or anything like that. And then of course, fill in your agent name in here. All right, so go back to my screen. All right, so we've talked about classic vacation. So I kind of want to walk you through that as well since we have some time. So Classic Vacations is one of the suppliers listed in the Travel Cafe. So if you're not sure how to register, go ahead and go to the Travel Cafe and you can learn how to sign up for Classic Vacations. So with Classic Vacations, you can book hotels or you can book homes. Go ahead and sign in. So you're going to go ahead and click on book a vacation rental. We're going to enter that destination. So we'll do Orlando again. March 4th through the 11th. Two guests. So again, here are your rentals that are available. Now, don't be afraid to. I mean, if you want to see if maybe you can get a better commission, I mean, don't break your neck doing it. Don't spend 12 hours. But if you want to get a better, see if you can get a better commission, you can copy and paste these property names into Google and see if maybe they offer it somewhere else. Or maybe they offer it through Vacasa and Vacasa pays a little better commission on the property. Or they have just a little better rate. You know, you can do a quick Google search on any of these. So with Classic Vacations, they have a lot of options that you can choose from here. So we're going to go ahead and just click this one, our top one on the list. It's an odd photo for a vacation home rental. Many times, if you scroll down through here, it'll give you the VRBO listing number. I haven't seen it quite yet. My chat box is over a little bit of the screen, but always make sure that you are copying and pasting this because this is all really important to give to the client as well because they have their own set of rules. Owner just says front desk. This is really odd. That man must really love himself. This one I don't see the VRBO number, so it may not be a part of VRBO. I'm not really sure. Again, cancellation policy, always make sure that your client has that cancellation policy. I like to send it in writing and make sure we talk back and forth about it just so it's on record what that cancellation policy is. You can also put the cancellation policy on that credit card authorization form. That's completely up to you how you want to do that. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Very odd. So it works a lot like the VRBO over here. It's going to say $169.71 a night. Here's your check-in. You can book it now. Some of these in classic vacations, it may not because I'm pretty close, but they can. Nisha, I'm going to actually post this recording in the chat group, so you should be able to get that. So you're welcome. So some of these actually allow you to do payments too, just like VRBO. Oh, here it is, sourced by VRBO. So this one is on VRBO. There are no reviews. I always tell my client about the reviews as well so that they can see those. But if you hear the view details, you can see all of the fees that are going to be charged. I think when you click the book now is when it'll tell you if you can make payments. It's also going to be the place that shows you the commission. I always make sure before I complete an itinerary that I know what my commission is. That's very spelled out to me. You're going to see here where it says a signed rental agreement is required, print, read, and send to the front desk. So I always print that. I send it to my client. I have them sign it, and then I communicate that with the management company for the property. This one's really odd because it's called front desk. Any questions at all? Oh, no problem. Yeah, I don't mind recording and posting. Yes, I know that's helpful. All right, so another one that I'm going to show you, and it might probably be the last one because I don't want to get too overwhelming. I'm going to do another training. I believe it's on the 28th. Let me look at that flyer again. And then I'm going to go over the cabin rentals, like in the Gatlinburg area. That's really popular. Let's see. The 29th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So a little trick with Expedia. Well, Expedia Tap. When you're searching for a vacation home in Expedia Tap, because they also hold a lot of the VRBO inventory. Remember though, that they only have 50% commission. So I don't want anybody coming back and yelling because it said you'll get 300 in commission and you only got 150. Let's see. And I hope that's going to change soon. I hope they're going to be able to get their system together and their payments better since that pandemic happened. So the 4th through the 11th. What's really key here is no matter how many people that you have that need to be in this vacation home, that you put 2 travelers in Expedia Tap. For some reason, if you put 3 or 4 or 8, it's not going to find any vacation homes at all. I'm going to go ahead and hit search. Once you are in the actual booking, I always add a note that tells how many passengers are actually going to be there. Oh, excuse me. So with your options down here on the left-hand side, excuse me. The property type, you can actually select house or condo. Or for vacation rental, this is how I get it to go to vacation rental pretty quick. Let's say I wanted 2 or more bedrooms. So I'm just going to click that 2. And then here are any homes that are available. Sometimes when you click that 2, sometimes it'll still bring up like 2-bedroom hotels. So if you want to, I try not to put too many options on here because it may not be able to find it, especially if the person listing it didn't put that. But there is an option on here to include a kitchen. And so that's a really good way one of the options in here. Maybe in amenities. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the kitchen. So if you want to make sure that you have a home, or even if it's a 2-bedroom hotel, but your client is asking for like a kitchen area, that's when I would put that. So you're going to see that these are by VRBO as well. And so 2-bedroom condo, vacation condo 2016, we can actually, I'll open that up. Too soon there. I just want to copy this, and I kind of want to show you that Google function again. So this one may be managed through the Runaway Beach Club. So you could even look in that and see if they have travel agent programs. It's also listed on, that one might be the same, it may not, on Airbnb. That's a pretty common name, so it may not be. Hotel in Place, I'm not sure what that is, but you can always open these up to see what they are and if they offer travel agent rates. All right, Jennifer, you asked, how do you advertise that you book vacation homes? Just a very simple advertisement through Canva would be fine. Maybe spring break is coming up. You could say we have many 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes in the Miami area. And even though you haven't looked for those 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes, you know you have them. Keep it pretty standard. I don't ever say, you know, at the end, you're not going to put in a price if you do it that way. You're just going to say, contact me for more information. But I wouldn't say, don't make it hard on yourself. So don't put 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a pool. But once people start to inquire, they'll say, I know you have 2 bedrooms, but you have 3 bedrooms. That's when you can jump in and see these options to see what you have available. Many of you are probably members of like the Facebook groups that are like traveling moms or how to travel on a discount, or there's like Disney travel tips Facebook group or Hawaii travel tips. You'll see people on there and they'll say, I'm looking for a nice 2-bedroom on the beach where I can drive to, you know, Disney or near Clearwater. And so you'll see people comment on there that says, hey, I have a couple 2 bedrooms in that area. Message me if you're interested. Typically, those aren't homeowners. Typically, those are travel agents. Those are people being creative. Even though the page group rules may say, do not advertise. Well, you're not advertising, technically. You're just letting them know that you have something available, which is what they asked for. And so, you know, in the Orlando area, just by doing this search, that you have 2-bedroom vacation homes available. Probably going to be able to find a pool, whether it's a home or a condo. So you can actually, you just make it a broad advertisement that you have them available in that area. You could even at the bottom of that say many other top vacation spots available as well. If you want to advertise for like this one directly, you would just use maybe one of these pictures. I would probably use one of the outside ones, I think work really well. Maybe if you wanted to do one of the outside ones for the big picture and then a bedroom one for the 2 smaller pictures, you could. And then starting at, you know, 1, I like to keep my numbers round. I don't know if that's just personal. But you see how it's $162 a night plus taxes, property fee, service fee. So I'll take this, I'll divide it by the 6 nights, and then I'll say starting at, I don't know, what is that, about $190, $200 per night. And you could even list these amenities if you wanted to use this property directly. Profit Agility is a really good one to be able to do those mock bookings and advertising with. You just have to be careful that there's a couple rooms available. And honestly, if there isn't, you can say, oh my gosh, somebody just grabbed that one, but let me look for a different one for you. Or I have this other option available. I usually don't tell people that it's taken until I can present them with a different option. Another thing I want to let everybody know with Expedia Top, and I wish that they would change this, and maybe they will. When you go to reserve, with VRBO, they allow payments. With Expedia, it gives kind of that same verbiage as VRBO, but it doesn't tell you exactly what the payment is. And hopefully this is a good example. Yes. Oh, it does give you this one. Maybe they're changing it. So it'll say deposits collected by the property. So what happens is typically their card isn't charged through Expedia at all, kind of like it would be if they were to pay for a hotel. So typically their charge is going to say whatever the property owner's is. This one's really nice because it says your first payment today is $212. Your remaining amount is due by February 2nd for $920.88. So that one's super helpful. Now, Expedia, it's a little hard if somebody just wants to pay the full thing. Hopefully when you click the complete booking, it lets them, but sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes it'll say in here, deposit will be charged upon booking. Amount will be determined by the property manager. And that really drives me crazy because then you can't really tell your client how much it's going to be. You can call the property and ask them. Sometimes they'll know, but sometimes they'll just say, typically we put a hold for the whole amount. So when you see it and it's not specifically spelled out, I don't typically offer that payment plan option. Another thing that's awful about that is when you do see that option where it says deposits determined by property, when you collect, you tell them the full amounts due, and then you collect their information. And then after 3 days, they still don't charge the full amount because they determined no deposit, that they would charge it maybe on the February 2nd. So after I run it all through, I always call the property and confirm, hey, you got this booking, and make sure everything's good. They also would like the full amount charged to their card. Looks like they're getting better though. Really makes me happy. I really like to see that. Any other questions? Anything I can show you? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and I'm just going to kind of leave it open for any questions.